The story I'm about to tell you is not a fairy tale, even if it talks of werewolves, the devil, and much worse still. It happened to me and my two brothers in that forsaken month of December 1858, near the village of Wolsville in Lower Canada.
Hey, this is Max92, and welcome back to another tryout. Today's tryout is on Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves. It's French. The title is in French, so I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I looked it up beforehand this time, so hopefully I pronounced that kind of correctly. And I'll try not to say it again. I'll just call it Tales of Werewolves. So, I've had this game kind of since as long as I've had Steam almost. It's just sort of sat in my account and I just never ended up playing it. I assumed it was I don't know. I didn't really know what it was. It's something I got for free at some point, and the game itself is actually free now. I think I just ended up with a key from somewhere. So it's actually free these days. So that's a bonus to it. If you really want to play it, you can just go download it for free off of Steam. But this is a game. It's set in the 1850s in Canada. This is a historical fantasy sort of thing, and you play as either Jos or Jack. These are like two lumberjack-looking dudes who are your playable characters. They represent the normal and hard difficulty retrospectively. So that is the basics after you get in. This game kind of has a lot of stuff going on with it. You've got like all of these different mechanics and all these different things you can use, but it also has these very detailed tutorial videos that are all skippable if you've done the thing already. You can just hit escape or whatever and you'll skip it. So it's sort of like it's got all this detailed tutorial work to explain to you its many mechanics and systems so that you don't get lost, which is very helpful, you know? And I've come away from the game with this thought that this is really cool, actually. Like, this is a very interesting game. It's a third-person action RPG tower defense game. In like the moment-to-moment game stuff, you got an axe, you've got a historically accurate musket that takes forever to load, you gotta muzzle load it and everything, and you're hitting things with an axe and you're shooting them sometimes, more likely hitting things with an axe, and you got some like skills between levels. You've got a skill tree, you've got shops in the town you can go to, and you can set traps on like a trap menu so that because each night you get like a thing telling you where the enemies are going to come from. You know, like there'll be 3 wolves probably from right here, and there'll be a werewolf coming from over here, or whatever. And so you can set traps based on their pathing. But like there are things like, as I got later, you can do a wall of flames basically to block off a path, which will just redirect them down another path unless all of their pathing is blocked. You know, unless all of their pathways have been blocked, then they will find then they'll just go through one of the fire paths and on their like original path. So it's got a lot of like mechanics. Like there's a lot of different kinds of traps. I don't know that there's a lot of depth in weapons. I think it's just stronger axes and stronger musket. So I don't know how deep the actual combat ends up getting. You do have like a rage, like a powerful rage attack that charges up, that as you go down the skill tree, it looks like you can get like more charges that you can use or whatever. So it does have a lot of like interesting stuff going on. And I've almost finished the first week. So there's only like 3 weeks. And I almost finished the first one, and I stopped at the last one. And it started to get a little bit difficult because you have, you know, a couple places you got to defend, and you can't really be in more than one place. So you have to sort of set up the traps as in the distractions, and I don't know, it's cool. It's really interesting and mechanically depthful, deep. Deep is the word, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot to think about while you're playing and while you're doing your setup period and all that. So like, it's cool, at least so far. So yeah, it's this, action RPG, third-person action RPG with some tower defense stuff on top, and it just, as much as I've played, works pretty well. Like, it just sort of, I haven't run anything so far. Again, I haven't quite finished the first week, so I don't know what mechanics and enemy types are introduced later on, making it more difficult, that might make it feel less fair or whatever. Make it a little bit like, oh, come on, I can't be in 15 places at once. I don't know. So I'd have to play more and find that out. It's just a really interesting gameplay concept mixed with a really interesting narrative setup where you've got like this like historical fiction trying to represent a specific time period and place that I don't know is talked about that frequently, at least in fiction down here in America. So like, I don't know that much about 1850s Canada. I don't know much about any of that. Like, I don't know what I don't know stuff about it. I don't know their folklore. I don't know any of that. So it's interesting in that way, but also in like just normal narrative type stuff, like the mystery that it sets forth. Like, who are these characters really that you're playing as? They've got multiple names. It seems they've got more than one name. It seems like their mother is in some sort of particularly special person. It seems like their sister is a particularly special person, and she's the one who gives you the information of like what enemies are coming from where in the night. There's a narrative reason for that. It's just sort of, it's free now these days. So with that on top of everything, this game passes its tryout. No questions, really. Maybe it gets less good later on. I did look through some reviews, and it seems like some people think it gets unfair at some point, and I think its reviews are a bit more mixed. But I think it's cool. I think it's just a cool idea. So on the merit of its cool idea, just check it out, especially since it's free. That's the whole thing. We're getting to end bits now. Thanks for watching the video. Like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want to keep with this and other shows. Leave a comment. Have you played or heard of, let's try to say it again, Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves? Is this something that's been on your radar? What do you think about it? Leave a comment. Share the video. Do the things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!